Live? We're live. We got the Johnson family on this week. We're very excited. Thank you guys for coming on. Well, most of the Johnson family.
Yeah.
And we're just going to kick off with a video here, so hang tight, everybody.
Okay, here we go. A little video.
50-point lead here. Oh, big floor.
Look at that. That's so pretty.
I got back a little bit too far.
It's okay.
Oh, here it is. This is the point I was looking for.
Oh, I know where they are.
Indoors. DOC.
Yeah.
How about that point?
How about the show it again? Now, granted, Tyson made a superb shot.
But that was Ben Johns, not Tyson.
That's Ben Johnson. Oh, yeah. See? I can't even tell from the back.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Johnson family.
Yes.
So before we get into the
questions, much for having your whole gang.
JW, why don't you set that up for us? You were playing singles, obviously. You had had a long day. You were closing in, I think it was the semifinal against Ben Johns. And, you laid it all out there.
Yeah, I mean, that day I was just feeling everything, I guess. And I played him a couple times before, and I hadn't done that well, but I knew I was doing better and better, and I knew that time I would do better, but not that good. But I was just feeling everything that day, and I just went out there and let it all on the court. So
sure did.
So you won the first game, you lost the second game. At what point did you say, "I'm going to win this"?
I was just I knew I was the underdog, so I didn't have much expectations, but I was just gonna see what happened in the third game and just let it all out there, like I said. So
that's fantastic. Well, and your parents will know this reference. I'm sure you won't, but thinking back to the Miracle on Ice, everybody talks about the U.S. hockey team beating Russia, and we'll say you beat Russia in Ben Johns. But you had to go on and play Finland, who was Tyson McGuffin. So you weren't finished yet. You had to go to the finals of the winner's bracket against Tyson, and then you had to wait for him to play again, and then you had to play again. So congratulations. I know we'll get to a question later, but your mom said that was one of her favorite moments on the pickleball court, and she wasn't even on the court. She was watching you.
Yeah.
Pretty special. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know the rest of the family, we have Georgia on the left.
Hello.
The next up-and-coming superstar in the world of pickleball. And then we probably have the guy that holds it all together in the back, Jack.
Here. Yeah.
Hey, hi, Jack.
So now, before we jump in, now, do you travel as a family most of the time or a lot of the time? How does that all work?
Yeah.
You talking to me or Georgia?
Like all of you.
Yeah.
I mean, do you generally play in the same tournaments, the three of you? And do you usually go, Jack?
I have been now. I had a knee replaced about 4 months ago or 5. And so the Tournament of Champions, when he beat Ben Johns, I happened to watch it live on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very exciting.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't. It's a good thing you didn't
We're all
re-injure
flying
that
out.
knee.
Yeah, sir.
What's
Sorry.
that?
It's a good thing you didn't re-injure that knee getting excited watching your
I know
son.
it. I was jumping all over the place.
We're all flying out to Casa Grande tomorrow. And from there, JW and I will go to Nationals, and Jack and Georgia will come back, and he'll take her up to play Port St. Lucie. So she'll be right there with you, Mike.
Oh,
I'll be looking for you, Georgia. Anything I can do to help you, just ask, okay?
Oh, thank you.
That's my backyard. I live here, so it'll be beautiful.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting. We asked that. That's my favorite question. Where's your favorite place to play? And a lot of people say Casa Grande. They love it there.
Oh, never been.
We've never been. Yeah, we're excited to play.
Is it a nice venue? Is that what you've heard?
I heard it's a really nice venue. So you guys really have something to look forward to.
Wonderful.
So
That's all I-
Georgia, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Georgia, with you on the show and JW, we heard this answer from your mom. So how did pickleball find the two of you?
Go ahead.
That's Coach Mike's favorite question.
Well, because only the reason why I know JW is very, very strong tennis player. So a lot of people wonder, how is the transition? When did it take place? What actually made you decide, you know what? I think I have a better possibility of a future in a different sport. So that's what everybody always asks. How did it find you?
Basically, it was actually a couple of years ago when we were in Naples.
Mhm.
We went out at night just as something to do, just like for just a good time. And we played and we liked it. And a year later, we started taking it a little more seriously and started playing a few tournaments and stuff. And we eventually got asked by partners to play, and from there we just kind of took it on.
Yeah, we had moved from Kansas and we didn't know anyone, so we went out to look for some tennis courts to play on, and we saw pickleball across the street, and we went out and decided to try it. And that's kind of how it all started.
Someone shared with me recently, maybe it was yesterday, you were on TV and we talked about like meeting a guy, and so we all know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Yes, I got in a lot of trouble for that one. The guy's Richard
You didn't get in any
Barr.
trouble, no way.
Very good, very talented player. I just it didn't come to mind in the
Of course
moment.
not. You're on TV.
I've never been on TV before.
Well, you can't say that anymore now, can you?
Yeah, I'm seasoned now.
That's right.
Well, that was exciting to see you guys on TV. How did that come about?
Yeah, so actually I have to give a lot of credit to Jack Olmsted. Are you guys familiar with Jack?
We know the guy, yeah.
Yeah, he lives in Bainbridge Island, where pickleball started, and he does a fabulous job of allowing people to find video clips of themselves and all that kind of. He sends us a lot of information, and he also does press releases. And so he had done this giant press release and sent it to the local TV station. And I think they've been asking us for 3 months, and every time we were gone. And so finally I said, you guys, we just have to go get this done because, we're getting ready to leave again for a couple weeks. And it was wonderful. Like, they did a great job. And anytime you have a chance to share about pickleball, you just need to get it done. So,
Sure.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
yeah.
That's fantastic. So it was live, right?
Yes.
So no recuts, no second takes, third takes.
Uh-huh.
No.
Definitely not.
We were very nervous actually, but I think it turned out okay.
It looked great. You guys were fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
JW, you and Georgia just came off the Chicken and Pickle Next Gen Series event in San Antonio. Tell us about that. Was that kind of cool?
Yeah,
It looked like a nice event.
That was my first time actually being to a chicken and pickle place actually, and I actually really liked the setup. Ken did a very good job with everything that he did, and it was actually it was cool to see the little kids play against each other. That was something special, and just to see how they're playing against each other and just social with each other and all was pretty special.
Does that make you nervous about the future watching those younger stars?
No, not all of them.
How about
That's
you?
good. That's good.
How about you, Georgia? Did you have fun?
It was very fun. Wait, am I feeling nervous? Is that the question?
No. Did you have fun at the Chicken and Pickle event?
Yes, yeah. The venue was amazing. The restaurant and the entire aura of it, how they had all the games. It was a really cool place. I hope we have one built here.
That would be nice, right, Mike? There you go.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying that, Georgia, because I had started a facility. I had 4 indoor courts, but it happened just at COVID, and we opened and closed at almost the same time. So It was going to be a
Oh.
footprint, and I wanted to do more of them. But as you see, more and more of the newer courts, newer facilities have a restaurant, covered courts. Julie, you've been to Pictona. I don't know if you guys have been to Pictona yet and
Yes,
saw it.
very nice venue.
Georgia's been to Pictona. I actually never
Okay.
been there.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
I
more
love
of,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that chicken and pickle was like a giant party 24/7. They had the management of the Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs was out there. They had
Mm.
just party after party, and everyone was having a great time. It was,
Live music.
yeah, they had a lot going on. Lots of fun. Really great place.
Not
That's
just
really cool.
pickleball, but a lot more is happening, a lot more available. They want you to
All right.
stay there. They want you to spend your money there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It's
could be an
the right
expensive
setup.
trip.
Smart.
You're not kidding. They even had, when you ordered your food, they gave you a GPS tracker so you could go anywhere you wanted and they would
They'd
come
find
find you.
Oh,
They said, oh,
perfect.
don't pay now, just open a tab and you can pay at the end of the evening. I was like, oh my.
Perfect.
I especially liked it because I didn't have to go out and get food for them.
Yeah.
The food was already there.
Didn't have to go and walk around. That's perfect. Yeah. And what do they have? 3 or 4 of them now? Chicken and pickles?
5?
I
Let's see, let's count up. Mike, they've got
Two in
San
Kansas City.
Antonio, 2 in Kansas City, Wichita,
Two.
and Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Wow.
fantastic.
Is there one in Denver too? No?
No.
It's
Okay.
a Midwest series, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And Jay, what's the name of that place in Texas? They just had a tournament recently.
Dripping Springs, Dreamland.
Now that's a whole complex. That's
Right.
the bigger version of, yes, you can play pickleball, but they hold concerts, they have events there, and not just pickleball.
You know, Mike, we actually were there after MLP on our way back to
Mhm.
San Antonio,
Mhm.
and he has dream boards set up now of what he wants the facility to look like in 2 years. And Steve Kuhn, I mean, that is one huge ambassador for our sport. His
Sure.
vision for MLP, what he pulled off there. The last night of the finals, I was sitting there thinking, I am having as much fun here as I have ever had at any major sporting event I've ever been to. It was
Nice.
like it was magical. And I was sitting by Rob Cassidy, who was so fun, and he looked at me and he said, "This is the greatest night of my pickleball life."
That sounds like him. That sounds
Yeah,
just like
we
him.
had so much fun. Yeah.
Good.
JW, not so much. He didn't like how his team did, but the rest of us had a great time.
Oh, well,
so it's funny, JW, when we hear you say, yeah, I was playing with the kids, right? So just think about how we feel when we get to play with you. We're 3 times your age. So it's a treat for us. And those young kids probably thought, wow, what a treat. I get to play with this guy, JW. So that's the way you have to think about it. You know, they're looking up to you like, and someday I hope to be like that guy.
Mike, we actually saw this little kid run up to his mom and he said, "Mom, I just rode in the elevator with JW." We're like, oh my God.
See? That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
For us, it's more of a chore than a privilege.
But you know, you got to step back and think, hey, I get to play a game that I love, and you know, people are looking up to you, and you know, it may be a chore, but think of it like, hey, you know, there are a lot of other things that I could be doing in this day and age.
Sure.
That's true.
A huge privilege, such a privilege.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
So,
We always joke around because his shirt says Yobo on it, Jeff. And we talk about a lot of the younger kids that are so excited because they're so healthy because they're young. And we always talk about, wait, when you're 63, are you going to be able to play pickleball? You know, you don't think like that. You're 19, 25, 30, you're invincible. And it's more of how can I maintain this level of, you know, being fit, but I know you guys all eat well. I mean, it all comes together. So
We love David. David and his yoga. He's good. Hey,
Yeah.
but just so you know, Mike,
Yes.
I'm just gonna wrap these guys out and tell you what they call senior pros.
No,
Oh.
don't
No, it's
try
okay.
to-
Listen, you can't hurt my feelings. Go ahead.
Go ahead, J-Dub, what do you call us?
Fake pros.
Say it
Fake
again.
pros. Fake pros.
Fake pros.
Fake pros.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I
you
said,
know,
what
there's
do
a
you call
different
them?
definition of a pro. You know, you've earned your credentials, right? You've medaled, you've been on this podium, and we have as well, just at different times in our life. Yeah. So,
Very, very different times.
He
Yeah.
told me,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said, you don't even have to run and you get paid.
And we learned, well, kind of like when I was getting calls, because when JW was playing with Ben, they said, "Oh, looks like a mirror." Both of these guys are so slow. They make these beautiful shots, and they're barely moving. They're like dancing on the court, nice and slow, nice and easy. So JW, the older you get, the more mature you get, the less we want to move.
That's right.
You went the smart way. Yeah.
So Julie, tell us for a minute. I mean, you're seeing some amazing things happen. You're Georgia. Are you 15?
Yes.
And JW is 18, and what they've accomplished.
19, just turned 19 in this month.
Oh, he's much older, Jeff. Come on.
Oh, happy birthday!
He's gonna be a fake pro soon.
Yeah, he's going to be a fake pro soon too.
One step closer. Yeah.
So, you know, what I mean, are you just amazed at what they've accomplished at, you know, not even 20 years old?
You know, I can't even tell you how surprised I am. I wake up and I think, how did all this happen? Because
In such a short period of time.
Yeah, the journey in
Very
tennis has been coaching academies, drilling partners, so structured, so different. And now we're in this sport where we're kind of looking for coaches. There's not really coaches, and I thought, are they going to stagnate? How's this going to go? And Georgia and J-Dub's games, they just keep progressing, and I see them working on things, and it's been wonderful. Like, but is it anything I ever expected? Not at all. I did not see this coming at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
When you went to go play for fun and did rec play, you wouldn't have said to yourself, "This is something we could be doing for a career."
No,
not at
I
all.
was actually going so I could get away from them for a little while.
There you
And
go.
then they're
See?
like, where are you going, Mom? Can we come?
Even
Nice.
a year in, we never played any tournaments. We just played rec for fun. We thought we were tennis players, and I don't know. We just thought pickleball tournaments. Who does that? So,
Yeah.
and then we started playing tournaments, and we got even more addicted, and it's just progressed into like a huge part of our lives.
Good.
so when you guys aren't playing pickleball, what do you like to do as a family, or maybe you like to get away from each other because you travel a lot as a family?
No, I think we pretty much do everything together. I mean, we like to fish and go out to eat and beach and yeah, just hang out.
Jack, do you play a little bit, or will you when you?
Yes, I'm starting to play. I'm teaching some, and I'm getting into it. I was always a
Good.
tennis player and
Good.
tennis coach, besides a veterinarian for 38 years. But I think that supported my tennis, or kept me going in tennis. And so then I always loved coaching, and so I got started coaching, and now I'm going to start trying to get in a few tournaments. I've played a couple of tournaments, but just with the older guys, and so
Older guys like me.
Great.
That's great.
get that knee loosened up where it's going good, and then it's coming along.
Hey, Jack, someone's typing in. They're saying old guys rule.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. So here's a question for both of you, and I've seen you both. Julie and JW. I don't know about you, Georgia, but do you find it frustrating when you get into the backdraw of a PPA event. I know JW at the Texas Open, you and Anna Lee lost to Ben and Simone, and then I think you won 4 straight against some really good teams, but you couldn't battle back to get the gold. And then I think in singles in Orlando, you lost to Kyle in your first match, and then you won 7 in a row. And again, you couldn't battle back to get the gold. And Julie, I think you had a situation in Orange County as well earlier in the year. Do you find that frustrating that there's not an opportunity to win a gold?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have to play like 7 matches after losing like, I don't know, like the second or third round. That's pretty frustrating, but I also know some players actually really like that, just so they don't have to face the same players again. But I kind of find it frustrating that, you can't get all the way back in after playing for like 7 or 8 hours and just getting third. But that's my opinion.
It's interesting because when I started pickleball, I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard of. Like, you got beat, you're in the backdraw. That's just the way it is.
Right.
And then as I've played, I love it. I love it now. And it makes me sad when it's that way. And so actually the senior pros went to the PPA and said, listen, we don't like this. And so they've allowed in some of the other tournaments for us to go ahead and play the double elimination. And it's kind of unique to pickleball, but I've gotten to where it's one of my favorite things because I've been in a gold medal and I've been double dipped and I have double dipped. And it makes you fight to the bitter end. And sometimes you've got to beat the same team twice. And I like it. I don't know why, but I really like that about our sport now.
Okay.
And Julie, for those that are new to the show and really don't know pickleball, what do you mean by double dipped?
Okay, so if you win all the way through to the gold medal match from the winner's bracket, you wait until the team, or say you get to the winner's bracket finals, one wins, one loses. The loser goes back down and battles back. Whatever team comes out of the loser's bracket, if you play
Opportunity
them,
bracket. There's no losers playing pickleball, Julie.
Yeah.
Come on.
what do we call it in tennis? We call it consolation.
Oh, the consolation, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So anyway, if the team that came out of the losers bracket beats the team in the, that has not lost in the 2 out of 3, then you play a game to 15.
Right.
And the winner of that game is the winner of the entire tournament. And if it's the team that came from the losers bracket who wins the game to 15, that they call that getting double dipped.
Okay, so you've been on both sides of the coin on that.
I have been on both sides of the coin. One is quite painful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. One's kind of fun.
You have to work hard. You have to fight your way back.
And then I think the other nuance that's interesting in the PPA is the 5-match final. Now, they do that in the senior pros, Julie, or is that just the real pros?
The real pros.
You catch on fast.
They started out, they did it a little bit. I think they kind of tried it. But maybe
I think
they've gone back and forth a little.
Yeah, the big pros can only walk for so long, but I think they only did the 3 out of 5 with them for a couple of tournaments, but other than that, it's mostly been 2 out of 3 for them, and then for the pros, it's been 3 out of 5 mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And usually those are a different day anyway, right? So if your event was on Saturday, you might play the final on Sunday.
Correct. Yeah.
Those guys play with the amateurs.
Oh. Do you see are you starting to sense all the respect I get in this house?
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you, Julie, can you still ground them at this point, or?
I have my ways.
Or maybe Jack is in charge of the grounding.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We always thought just taking the cell phone was the worst thing to do, but now maybe taking the paddles away would be worse. I don't know.
There you go, yeah. Then I have to deal with that. I mean,
And they would run out of good games to play.
oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay, this is only getting worse.
All right, so let's move
Yeah, you
on.
take away all of our best practice partners.
There you go.
JW, Georgia, what? Obviously, you haven't been in the sport too long, but tell us your favorite moment on the pickleball court in your short careers to this point.
You probably have a few. Just try to think of one or two. That's it.
J Dub's got a good one he thought of.
So, mine was actually playing with Johnny Goldberg, and it was in the New Jersey Open, the tournament right before TOC. And we had played a lot before that together, and we had not really done very well. But then that tournament, we played very well together. He was very funny the whole time, very energetic the whole time, and that was probably one of my favorite moments of my career so far.
And you
Very
double
nice.
dipped, didn't you?
Yeah, they double dipped to win that.
Oh,
Put
nice.
that vocabulary into use.
Yeah.
And it was really hot up there, from what I understand, right?
It was
Very.
insanely hot, yes, very.
Yeah.
Georgia, how about you? What has been your
would-
favorite moment so far?
I would say the Orlando PPA was my favorite. It was my first time playing with Sarah Ansberry, and I think my first time playing Women's Open in a PPA, or Women's Pro in a PPA.
Mhm.
And we were like one match away from bronze or something like that. So we got fourth. So I thought that was one of my favorites. And then I played 5-0 as well in women's and mixed, and I ended up winning both of those. So that was pretty fun.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I heard on the show the other day that you said that you, Georgia, you and JW be playing together in the future. Is that true, or were you just making that up for TV?
No, yes, that's true. Yeah, we've got quite a few coming up next year.
That's fantastic. Keep it in the family. I like it.
Yeah.
And you, Julie,
We're partners.
and Julie, you could play with either of them in split, right?
That's right. And wait, I don't get to. They have to play with me.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, we
nice.
got the Boca Patch tournament and
Yeah.
also the US Open. So look
Oh,
forward
wonderful.
to doing that.
Mhm, mhm.
all right. So let's see. I know, JW, you've been really playing this game for what, less than a couple of years. You lost some tournaments because of COVID, but I think you've played 23 tournaments this year. I mean, that's got to be almost as many, and those are the only ones listed. Maybe you've played in some that weren't on pickleballtournaments.com, but that's a lot of tournaments. You probably have played in almost as many as anyone else in the sport.
Yeah, that was a lot for this year, but I'm gonna try to cut it down next year because it was almost like every other 2-3 weeks is on a plane.
You're gone,
And
yeah.
come home for like maybe a week and then go right back to it. So
Mhm.
definitely gonna try to not do as many next year. So try not to get burnt out. So.
Now,
Who do you get to train with the most down south? Do you have a specific person that you prefer? And you don't have to mention if you don't want to, but do you have that? A lot of people don't have that luxury. They don't have somebody strong like that near them.
Yeah, we actually play with the Waters quite a bit.
Good.
And then other than that, usually my mom, Mircha, Georgia,
Nice.
and others just around here. Yeah,
Good.
Goldberg.
that's great. So
You
we
do have a
actually-
nice,
I think we have one of the strongest pools of people.
you really do for Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a really, like Catherine Parental came and practiced with JW over the weekend because they were going to play nationals together. And she was, she just doesn't have a lot of people around to play with. Zane was telling us that he drove an hour and a half one way to go play singles
Yeah.
with Johnson Cola, and then he still doesn't get doubles practice. So we have a great group
We're
here.
very blessed. So many
Yes.
high level 5-0s as well.
It's pretty easy for us to get together a good group of 8.
Sure,
every night.
sure.
So, yeah.
That's fantastic.
I
So
was lucky,
what-
JW. I got invited a few times.
Yeah, you did. That's true. I remember.
So,
Well-
so what advice would any of you give to, younger players, older players, wanting to improve and compete at a higher level?
I think the main thing that people need to focus on is, they need to commit to drilling and put their time in there for sure. And also just spending time breaking down film and studying players. What I see lacking a lot, even in senior pros, is good court positioning.
Right.
There's just a lot of mismatches you can pick on with the way people position themselves on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And that would, it's just, you have to be a student of the game and really work on what it is you want to, focus on one thing, try to improve it, but also see yourself as who you really are as a player. If you're
Right.
always playing people you can beat, that's not going to help you. So I don't know. There's so many different things people can choose to work on, to select, and to just not get complacent, to just keep pushing themselves.
I'd say get out there and play the tournaments.
Yes, yeah.
Sure. A lot more experience. We have a guy that's trying to ask questions. He says that he claims that he knows you guys and he wants to be able to say something to you guys. You guys know this bum?
Mirjay, what's up? Hey.
So for other people that were watching TV, was it WPTV? Georgia, you were on? And she had mentioned we met this guy who met a guy, right? That kind of got into pickleball. So here's the guy.
It was just another guy, just
Right.
a Jag, JAG.
I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. This is just another guy.
JAG.
Exactly. She did say another guy, not just another guy. So.
Right.
But I
But
guess
the just was implied.
correct. It goes without saying. So now apparently in her phone contacts, I'm a Jag. So that's me.
That's okay. It could be a lot worse. You could be a fake pro. That would be hurtful.
Correct. That
Hey, that's
actually.
under the last name.
No, that's actually what JW has me under, and then Georgia has me under Jag.
That's nice. That's love. They only mess with the people that they like. You know that.
Hey, that's what I keep telling them, but Julie, that's what I keep telling you, but you don't believe me. So
Yeah, really. I don't believe you and Georgia just gang up on me and it's over.
what can I say? We're simpatico.
So it's a very great dynamics because most people that know Mircea and Julie, they play mixed doubles together and they're very dangerous on the court by themselves or together. And they are definitely not fake pros. They're real legitimate pros.
They're only fake when they're not beating us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's such a double-edged sword, Mike, because Mircea and I did manage to beat Georgia and Gabriel the other night, and then she quit. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Well, actually,
How bad could she be if she lost her mother?
Okay.
Yes, that's another one of our local players who's very good and up and coming as well. He's 16 and a very good player. I play mixed with him sometimes.
Fantastic.
Go ahead, Mircea.
I do have one funny story about us practicing with the kids.
Yes.
At one point, I did something. I don't recall exactly what it was, but whatever I said angered Julie so much. It was the only time that she ever really yelled at me and used an expletive. Starts with the letter F. I don't think I've ever heard her say that any other time. And,
Me neither.
But it was at the beginning of the game.
It had 4 letters.
Exactly. It was 0-0, and we were playing, practicing Georgia against Georgia and JW. And lo and behold, we beat them 11-0. And it'll probably be the only and last time we'll ever beat them 11-0. But, whatever I did, it worked. So, you can thank me, Julie.
Hey, if we hadn't been laughing so hard, the score might have been a little closer.
That's probably true.
That's great.
But you missed that one, Jack. But I think they probably told you about it.
So because of pickleball, these relationships, like a lot of others, would never happen. So that's why I'm just such a huge fan of letting people know pickleball is much more than a sport. It changes people's lives. It just really does. And sometimes they look at it, and I happened to be in the Villages today, and I was speaking to a guy that played racquetball, high-level racquetball, most of his life. And he says, "Oh yeah, I've had to get my knees done, my back, but because of pickleball." I said, "It's because all those years of whatever else you did, and then now you're playing pickleball, so you're blaming pickleball because." And he looked at me and he goes, "Well, you might be right. I don't know." But it does happen, and we talk about this all the time in every show: is how are you going to stay healthy for a long time? So someday somebody's going to say to JW, "We're pros. JW, you're a fake pro. You're in your 50s now," right? And he'll laugh and he'll say, "Oh yeah, some guy told me that."
Some guy.
Yeah, it's gonna come back. Yeah, I know it's gonna come back.
Yeah. It was just a guy, though.
Yeah.
Can I speak to what you were saying about,
Yes, please.
pickleball being more like, and I don't know if Mircea felt this way with his sister in tennis, and he played high-level tennis.
Right.
But JW never had the friends in tennis that he's had in pickleball, the relationships, the camaraderie. It's kind of like a big giant family in a lot of ways. And
There it is.
Goldberg and so many of these people have taken JW under their wing, and Georgia with Lee Whitwell and Sarah Ansbury and Regina. It's been a lot of fun for us, but it definitely feels different than tennis.
Mircea, would you echo that?
Oh, I would 100% echo that, and I'd probably double down on it. And for my sister playing, my sister was a high-level pro, which I certainly never achieved that remotely. But I played through college and played a few satellites, but she played on the pro tour for a while, and she didn't like the life. She didn't like, she traveled with her coach, which she was in a relationship with. She was married at the time for part of it, and she cherished their time together, but it was otherwise relatively lonely and isolated existence. And pickleball is just the opposite. And Mike made the great point that it's really a community, and that's what drew me to it. Through making friends like this wonderful family that you've been interviewing. They're two great parents. Jack and Julie are just the sweetest, nicest people. They have two great kids. And, I get to hang out with them periodically, not periodically, I get to hang out with them regularly. So I cherish that. And that's part of the reason that draws me to the sport and what I enjoy about it. And, meeting people like yourself, Mike,
Appreciate it.
So, just so many wonderful people in this sport. And I try to learn a little bit from all of them.
You're right. It is family. I know the longer that you stay in the sport and the more that you travel, I can go to most states right now. And if I'm not set up in a hotel, there's always somebody in the pickleball world. It's now you crash at our house. Come on. When we come to Florida, we stay at your place. So it's just like that. It's very reciprocal.
Right. Absolutely. And the Johnsons have an open house. And anytime you guys want to stay there, you're very welcome.
So does Mircea. So does Mircea.
We're renovating our house, so no one can stay there. But
Mircea lives in the castle.
The Johnsons, their mansion is all done. They have plenty of room, and anytime you need a place to stay, Jack will be happy to drive you to and from the airport. It's all good.
JW said, and Mike, we'll have a cane for you when you come over, right?
Exactly.
You said that. I didn't say that.
JW will feed you balls for a couple hours, give you pointers.
That's nice.
Still cook.
And when we say feed you balls, that means he literally is stuffing them down your throat.
That's true.
His favorite thing to do is to tag a fake pro.
Yeah. Well,
I like
think,
tagging real pros.
I would say I think his favorite thing to do is tag his mom, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
So Jeff,
That's
you have
great.
1 or 2 questions left. I know you do.
You have one question left, and
Okay.
you know, Mircea, you could stay on for this as well. So Julie, obviously you just became a senior pro. I'll use the correct terminology.
Thank you.
What, and I'll start with you. What are you most excited about the future of pickleball? Obviously, you know, you're on the complete, not the complete opposite end, but you know, a few years ahead of your kids. You know, where do you see pickleball maybe as a family, you know, as a competitor?
Yeah, so kind of circling back to what I said earlier about MLP, Steve Kuhn had quite a vision there of taking the sport kind of to another level. And I think he's going to be able to really take that whole league and really make just something really special. So I see pickleball progressing in all kinds of different directions. I see it growing exponentially to where I think we can, like Lee Whitwell always says, there's no pickleball pros. There's people who play professional pickleball, but they all have a side gig. And I think that there's also going to be coaching coming in to where there will be coaches involved with some of the pros. I think we're going to see it become, I think it's going to make the Olympics. I don't see, there's people that are really trying to keep it on track for that to happen. It's gonna change, and I'm just hopeful that the change is all going to be positive and good. It's going to be different. Some of us there might be parts we do and don't like, but I think it's really just about to hit its stride and take off in a very big way.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think that there are going to be a lot more players who not only have professional training in other sports, but also have the correct way to go about playing professional sports. And as more and more players from other backgrounds get into it, there will be players who started when they're 3 years old, like tennis, and they'll have the diet and the training and the just taking it seriously as they do other professional sports, and I think that'll really take it to the next level. A lot of pros now, there's no diet restriction, not restriction, but there's no regulation of their diet or fitness, and I think that once you get players with not only the skill level to play, but also the dedication to commit their whole lives to it, it's really going to change the sport.
That's correct. Well said, Georgia. Sorry.
Thank you.
How about you, JW?
Yeah, I'm really like my mom said. Actually, the MLP that Steve Kuhn did, I think that really reached a lot of eyes and was really it was really fun for a lot of the people. I feel like the next, if he does any more, I feel like that's gonna really excite a lot of more people too. Yeah, sponsors and players and people like that, and just also more like the chicken and pickle stuff. I feel like if they open more stuff like that, just around, just everywhere, I feel like that'll attract a lot of people too, actually, because that
I
was
agree.
a lot of fun too. So I'm excited about that.
That's great. Do you think MLP would work for like the seniors? Would they do an event like that?
They
Probably not asking the right guy, J-Dub.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe not.
Julie or
but,
Mircea.
Yeah.
I have heard some rumors that could actually happen.
Wow.
I think
Yeah,
that
I heard the same
problem-
rumor. Yeah, it's in the works.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be really fun because actually Mircea and I were talking about it, and he said, I really think for the way they wanted personalities to come out, that the senior pros might actually have a lot more of that than the regular pros. So being mic'd up and talking to each other. So.
Sure.
Especially Weinbach. He doesn't need to be mic'd up because we can already hear him, but you know.
Through that.
He really enjoys what he's doing, and he's not shy.
He does.
We love it. It's so fun to watch.
Right. And there's the point right there. It's fun to watch. When more people realize this is a fun sport to watch, more viewers, more money, more TV, and that's, your number one media source right there. So, and Georgia,
And
when
there was
you,
an interesting story that happened. CBS was where they aired the finals, CBS Sports for the MLP.
yes,
And they were really worried because I'm guessing on times, but I think they had like a 2-hour slot and the women's game went really long. And so they were panicked thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to get cut off. And in their panic, they got the phone rang and it was CBS. And they said, listen, you guys, you can have all the time you want. We're not cutting you off.
nice.
And
Wow.
to me, the only reason they would do that is maybe one or two things. One of them could have been numbers, and just, maybe the viewership was there for them. So,
Exactly right.
yeah.
That's great. How about you, Mircea?
Yeah, I just think there's so many opportunities. I mean, all the venues that are opening up that are high level, first class, dedicated courts, like Pictona, for example, the Legacy Complex out in Arizona, the growth of the Newport Pickleball Club, the what's planned in Austin, Steve Kuhn's the Dripping Springs Dreamland is growing. Also, Tim Klitsch is having the plans for the Austin Pickle Ranch are phenomenal. Places like that, and JW mentioned the Chicken and Pickle. There are other styles of stores like that. For example, Courtside Superstores in Irvine. There's going to be 3 or 4 more of those, so I'm excited about that. And all the Major League Pickleball, obviously there was a lot of popularity to that, and I could see it working with seniors. I think it would be cool to have a mixed one, because one of the events that I found most enjoyable too at the U.S. Open was the mixed split age, and that with the APP, where you have a open pro paired with fake pro. So actually, JW and I are gonna play a couple, and next year's US Open, I'm gonna be full of Johnsons. Basically, I've got the split age with Georgia mixed, and then the split age for men's with JW, and then the mixed.
Very
with
nice.
George. So
You just have to make sure those kids stay healthy.
Play an event, because you're the only one missing. So we got to find an event to play, Jack.
That's right.
The super senior pro.
Exactly. So all those things are just going to draw more and more people.
Of course.
So how about? Go ahead, Coach.
Jeff.
Sorry.
No, you go, Jeff. Go.
I was just going to say, how about next year? I see there's some tournaments overseas. Any interest in playing in some of those, or?
Yes.
I mean,
Go ahead, Mircea.
I would love to. My only issue is that there's so many tournaments already in the States,
right?
And with the the status of COVID is just uncertain. Like, for example, my parents just went to Austria, and the country was locked down completely after.
They had to stay there.
Yeah, well, they had to move. They had to go to Germany. They were planning on seeing a couple operas in Vienna, and they had to drive to Germany, like literally with midnight deadline. So obviously there's a lot of uncertainty about that, and that's the only caveat for me, at least. So
sure.
But I would but obviously in the future, all things being in a quote semi-normal status, without COVID, I mean, I would love to do that, and I think that's only going to happen more and more, and that's obviously exposing more and more people to the game.
Good.
Absolutely.
I think it's important for that kind of outreach to get pickleball into the Olympics and make it more of a worldwide sport. And I'd be interested to see what kind of venues they have, or if there are other players that could compete with the pros that we know of that just don't travel to the U.S. to play.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, any closing comments from the Johnsons or Mircea?
Just thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you
was
so much.
wonderful. You guys were fantastic. People got
Excellent.
to know a little bit more about the family,
Yep.
not just seeing you guys on the podium all the time.
Well, you couldn't have picked a better family
I know.
to interview, and I hope you
I
have them
agree.
on more regularly because they have a lot
I
of
agree.
insights. And I'm really excited to see, the Johnson family pickleball sensation grow and grow and grow because both JW and Georgia, I mean, are so young and their talent is limitless. So it's really up to them, if they keep working hard and they're going to be on, they're already close to the top, but they're going to be on top for a while, and I'm excited to see them develop.
Thank you.
So I wish you guys all the best, and
Thank you guys very much. Mircea, thanks
you.
for the
Thank you.
surprise coming on.
Good
Thanks
night,
for jumping
guys.
on, Mircea. Johnson
you.
family, thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much for your time. It was wonderful.
Jack, do
Thank
great
you.
with your knee. Quick recovery.
Thank
And
you.
Julie, do me a favor and give my contact info to Georgia. So when she comes to PGA Verano, she's not walking into a crowd of people. She won't know anybody. I'll make sure she's very well taken care of. And I need to also know the days that you're going to come in, because if you come in earlier during the tournament, believe it or not, they're going to leave some courts open, only 4 courts, and only the residents can reserve them. So I'll make sure you have a court.
Thank you.
Mike,
That's
I so
wonderful.
appreciate that.
The only one exception, you have to hit with me.
That's not an exception. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Good. Fantastic.
All right,
Jeff,
thank you, guys.
Have a nice night.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much for
guys.
your time, guys. Have a
Appreciate
great
you.
night. And if I don't speak to you, happy holidays. Be healthy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Jeffrey.